you so much for that warm welcome for our guest speaker. He is, of course, a multi-award-winning speaker, motivational speaker, and entrepreneur. I was trying to summarize the number of awards he has here. 3 times Entrepreneur of the Year, Young Businessman of the Year, 100 most influential young South Africans. I cannot finish the list by 5 o'clock. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are in good company. Let me leave it to you. Theo Baloyi, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Theo Baloyi. I am the first employee officer of Bathu. We are a proud South African sneaker business. Our vision is to build a shoe brand that Africans can proudly affiliate with. And right at the core of our mission, we want to reignite hope and create sustainable jobs. As introduced, I think more than anything else, I am a product of opportunity. And I think the reason why I say that is because throughout my journey, I've been awarded great opportunities that have contributed to the person that I am today, that have contributed to the leader that I am today. I come from humble beginnings in Alexander Township, and an accountant by profession. I worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, for about 5 years, 2 years in South Africa, and I was, again, as a result of an opportunity, I was awarded a secondment opportunity to work at in Dubai, the UAE, and I actually rotated within different competencies, you name it, from auditing, consulting, strategy consulting, asset management, and obviously exposed to different sectors from mining, telecommunications, banking, and so forth. But I think the reason why I'm here today, I was invited to talk about my story and how I started, because I believe that in the room we've got different types of entrepreneurs, ranging from aspiring entrepreneurs, or rather budding entrepreneurs, to established entrepreneurs. And I think I am quite humbled to be with you today, and I'm honored, and thank you for the invitation. It's such an honor to be with you guys here today. And as I've mentioned, I come from a business called Bathu. Our vision is to build a shoe brand that Africans can proudly affiliate with. And I'm about to tell a story of how, we started the business. And I say we because I have collectively, with the incredible people at Bathu, and obviously with the support of our esteemed clients, we have collectively built the business that we have today. And I started in 2015, and when I started, it started as a dream, and I believe that we all have dreams in the room, right? Yes. I also had a dream in 2015. And the thing about dreams and decisions is that they're never just dreams. And a decision is never just a decision. And I'll tell you why I say that, because my dream was just not a dream. And the decision that I've made to pursue the dream was just not a decision. It carried something way bigger and better and beyond my understanding, because it was not just a decision that benefited me, but it was a decision that benefited many other families. It was not just a dream that liberated me, but it was a dream that liberated many other families. So the year is 2015. I am at Dubai. I work for one of the top 4 accounting firms, living pretty much a comfortable life. And as I've mentioned, that I was seconded to the UAE at the time. And throughout my journey, I think I regard myself as very blessed and fortunate to have been awarded the opportunities that I've been awarded. I mean, I got 100% bursary to pursue my studies in accounting. I was employed by one of the top 4 accounting firms, not only in South Africa, but also abroad as well. But my reality is that, it's not everyone from Alexander Township who has those opportunities, and that is the reality. So, as Maskulekasi, you are raised by the village, and you're strong, and you need to always go back to sort of express a sense of gratitude. That's how we were brought up. When someone has helped you, you ought to go back and uyobonga, you know? So as a black child, that's what we know. So there's people that have given me bursaries, people that have employed me at the firm, people that have given me great opportunities to, get great experience, as I've mentioned, that I've rotated within different competencies. And that's what you know. I will go back to those people to say, thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for giving me the opportunities that you've given me, because today I'm the leader that I am. And that sense of gratitude is met by one big ask. That, yo, Theo, we actually don't want anything from you. Just pay it forward in your own way. And you can imagine at the time I'm in Dubai, I have a promising career in accounting. And in 4 times what I was earning in South Africa, tax-free. So how do I pay it forward? And at the time, I actually had this reality that always flashed before my eyes. And my reality was that all the time when I went back home, I landed OR Tambo, I go freshen up in my apartment, and the first thing that you do, obviously, be a gas. Right? So, on the gas, the reality flashed before my eyes. About 482 have lost hope. About 482 are unemployed. And when you park your car and everyone is excited to see you because you just came abroad, and you start talking, and obviously you're catching up with different people, could be your cousins, could be the people that you grew up with, could be the guys that you went to school with, you realize that these guys have literally lost hope. And when you listen closely to the stories, I realized that a lot of them is not because they didn't lose hope because of their lazy or anything. But the reality is that a lot of them haven't gotten the opportunities that I have gotten. An opportunity to further my studies, an opportunity to work for one of the top 4 accounting firms. And who am I to be in the UAE and look down at the people in LX and say, you guys are lazy? So that's a problem. That's problem number 1. Number 2, I buy a lot of sneakers, right? Because I had, end of 2015, I had a valuable collection of sneakers. You name them like limited collections because I could easily get them because I was based in Dubai. But I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this collection and I'm like, something is missing here. Because all of these brands that are in my collection, they are international footwear brands that speaks to brand values that I can't resonate with as a young African man. Their vision and their product offering is not something that I can really resonate with. And that didn't sit well with me. And that is problem number 2, right? Problem number 3, we all know about it. I mean, there's a saying that says, if you buy too much of something, why not own it? If you're consuming too much of something, why not own it? Why not somewhat play a role in the ecosystem, contribute to the value chain of that thing that you're consuming? Maybe it's a big thing to own, yes, fair enough. But there is a value chain and a model behind what you consume excessively. So why not play a role in that? And the 4th one was I associated with a lot of, obviously I'm based in the UAE. I've got friends that are Emiratis, that are Arabs, that really take pride in what they've built in the UAE, right? I mean, those guys fly nothing but Emirates. And one day I found myself in the UAE, actually traveling to Saudi Arabia. I'm stuck at the duty-free airport for about 8 hours, 8-hour layover without launch access. And I walked into this duty-free store that had so much foot traffic. And I went into it with an inquisitive mind to check what are they selling, why is it so busy in the store? And I realized that actually on that day, because I had a chat with the founder, that it's actually a French store, it's a brand from France, that sells a story that a lot of the French community can resonate with. And I started asking myself that what are we doing as Africans to tell our own stories? What are we doing as Africans to conceptualize our heritage, our culture, our stories into products and services that the rest of the world can consume? So with that being said, then I get to work. I did about 18 months of research and development and proof of concept for Bathu. And one of the interesting findings from my research was that we've got about 7 regions in the world, or 7 continents in the world. And just to name a few, each and every continent has a fair presentation of at least 1 or 2 footwear brands, predominantly in the sneaker offering, right? So if you look at South America, Brazil to be specific, they've got Havanians and they've got Ipanema. The States, USA to be specific, they've got Nike by Phil Knight, they've got Under Armour by Kevin Plank, they've got Converse by Chuck Taylor. And if you mention Europe, they've got obviously your Adidas, your Reebok, and a lot of Italian footwear brands. But when I came down to our continent, Africa, I couldn't find one footwear brand that is benchmarked with those footwear brands that I've just mentioned. And I took it upon myself to really build that shoe brand. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of shoe brands, but nothing that can be benchmarked with those international footwear brands that I've mentioned. Benchmarked in terms of product offering, benchmarked in terms of market share. We can even take it further and say benchmark it with the CSI drives that happen in our continent. Nothing, I could not find of a single footwear brand that comes from our continent. And I got onto the job of building Bathu. And for those that don't know what Bathu means, it means Iskatu, I think in an official Zulu way. I don't know Eswatini, what's the official way? Yeah, Iskatu. So, it's a slang name for Iskatu. And the beauty about this word is that in South Africa, it comes way prior to democracy. Before the 90s, it was used predominantly in Sophia Town to refer to a shoe. And the power of it is that even if we were oppressed, let's fight Bathu and go fight for our freedom. Even when times were unfavorable, let's fight Bathu and go fight for what we deserve. And it carries that powerful weight. And the beauty about it is that in South Africa, we've got 11 official languages, well, 12 now with the sign language. And it doesn't matter where you go, whether from Soweto, Tembisa, or all the townships in South Africa, you don't have to speak Tswana, Zulu, or Xhosa. Everyone knows what Bathu is. So why not conceptualize it into a sneaker brand and export it to the rest of the world and tell this beautiful untold South African story? But here's the crazy idea. That was just a dream, right? It was just a dream. And I put all of this together and I went to actually my boss' office, Nils, who gave me so many amazing opportunities in the firm and said, Nils, thank you for everything else that you've done for me. I'm actually going to quit my job. And he asked me, what am I going to do? What am I going to quit my job? And I said, no, I'm going to actually sell sneakers. And he was like, oh, you're going to be a reseller, so you're going to sell Adidas and Reebok and Nikes. And I said, no, I'm actually going to start my own sneaker brand. And he obviously wished me well. And I took my savings, and by the way, mind you that I worked for PwC for 5 years. So I became a crazy man, and a very crazy man, to leave a comfortable job in Dubai. And I often joke around and say, I was in Dubai before it became an Instagram location. Please, let's put that disclaimer. I left the UAE, and I quit my job, came back home, and you know the story, like I never told my family, right? So it was like, you don't want to have that conversation with your parents. So I quit my job, came back home silently, and after 18 months of conceptualizing and working on the product, I did about 100 pairs of sneakers. And that was our initial edition, which we were declined about 18 times when we started. And the reason why we declined 18 times was because our first prototype, or mother brand rather, was the mesh edition, which we are known for in South Africa within our brand. We were declined about 18 times because at the time the factories did not want to make the shoe with mesh. So in footwear manufacturing, mesh is used as a component of a shoe, either on top, on the side, or at the back. So we wanted to make an entire shoe out of mesh. So they said that's not possible. So we pursued them until they gave us approval for 100 pairs. And then you can imagine also 100 pairs is not enough because we didn't even meet the minimum order quantity at the time. And we pursued them until they switched on the machines for them to do the 100 pairs. And we went on to do 400, we went on to do 1,000. Now we do tens and tens and tens of thousands of pairs. And that factory can afford to miss my call today. I became a crazy man and left my job, came back home with the sole vision. The vision to build a shoe brand that Africans can proudly affiliate with. And right at the core of our mission was to reignite hope and create jobs. Today, that business and that dream and that decision has built 35 stores and employs over 400 people. And that couldn't have been possible if it wasn't for me jumping ship and taking the risk and standing firm with my decision of following my dream and executing my dream. And today, when I look at the business that we've built, more than anything else, when I drive into my township, Alexander Township, I drive with utmost humility and pride and happiness because this very same business have managed to build many other Theo Baloyis. A few years ago, it was only Theo who would drive into the township, with a great job. But today, we've got many other Theo Baloyis that are coming from Alex and other parts of South Africa. And the reason why I say that, because oftentimes I hear the story of the Theo Baloyi story and the Bathu story and how inspirational it is. But tell you what, the Bathu future consumer, that who is your consumer in 10 years? And how are you making sure that you engage with that consumer today? Even though they might not be converting today, but in 10 years, they will be able to convert to your business and contribute to your bottom line. And what we did, we came up with a project called the Bathu for Bathu Care Project that aims at donating 1 million pairs of school shoes in the next 10 years. And that project, we started it with our own proceeds. The same way that we started the business by taking my savings and deploying them as seed capital in the business, we took the proceeds that people have supported us and deployed them into a CSI drive. Because we understand that a lot of brands make a mistake of trying to support and commit to, or to associate rather, with different types of people once they've made it. You want to speak to the Black Coffee when he's the Grammy Award-winning DJ. But you never really want to focus at Black Coffee when he's still Umtata in the rural areas. You want to commit and associate with Trevor Noah while he's Trevor Noah today. But when we're still struggling and commuting and still emerging, no one wants to touch him. So we as Bathu, we said, we've got future leaders that probably today they don't know who they are. They don't know what their dream is. They don't know where they're going to end up in the next coming years. But we want to partner with them in walking the journey because our slogan says, walk your journey. We want to embody and walk the journey with everyone who's in a journey of greatness. And what we're doing is that we go into schools and we donate in school shoes. So that when Theo is in grade 1, right, we give him school shoes. When he's in grade 5, we do the same thing. When he's in grade 10, we do the same thing. Potentially maybe walk the journey with him in higher education, undergrad and postgrad. So that one day, when he heads up the stock exchange, Swaziland, he will say, I know who walked the journey with me. And that's what we are. We are a business that is very intentional in building our brand equity and building and making sure that we live our vision and our mission. Oftentimes, because I've worked for different clients, I've worked for a corporate myself, you would read mission statements and vision statements that are PR. Sounds nice in the audit and reception. It reads very nice, but it's never lived. So we want to live our mission statement. When we say we want to reignite hope and create sustainable jobs, is it PR? No, it's not PR. Started from the bottom, sold from the boot of my car, packed the boxes myself, went on to occupy a 300 square meter warehouse, went on to occupy 3,700 square meter warehouse. At the moment, we're moving to a 13,000 square meter warehouse and employing about 600 people by next year. That is living a mission. When we say we want to be a shoe brand that Africans can proudly affiliate with, yes, we mean it and we're intentional about it, because just the last 2 consecutive years, we were mentioned and we are part of the top 100 most admired African brands in Africa. And that is a study conducted by Brands Africa, over 3,700 unique brands mentioned on there. And here's a brand that comes from a room in Alex, making it on the top 100. And that is living a vision. And I know it all sounds nice and fancy. And I know that it might look like a nice story because where we are. But I really understand the challenges that one faces on a journey, especially the journey of emerging, and the struggles of wanting to emerge, and the struggles of wanting to build something. And today I want to encourage everyone in the room to say, I was there as well. And I want to encourage everyone that forget about the social currency. Forget about the cool factor. Your sole job in executing your dream is listening to your inner voice. We all have the inner voice. It's never loud. It almost whispers. It catches you when you're having lunch with your mates. Randomly visits. It catches you when you're having drinks with friends. It catches you sometimes in the shower. And I want to say to you that voice caught me too. The difference is I listen to that voice. We all have it. Some call it purpose. Some will believe in different higher power, whatever higher power that you believe in. It speaks to you. That is the voice that is going to make sure that you execute your dream. And remember when I said this, when I started, I said, dreams are not just dreams. Decisions are not just decisions. My decision carried today 400 more people. The question is, if I did not dream and if I did not make that decision, where will the 400 people be today? So today, maybe mine is 400, yours is 4,000. Maybe yours is 400,000 people. It's possible. But it all starts with listening to that inner voice that whispers to you. I know everyone in this room knows exactly what I'm talking about, but we never want to talk about it. Because when you say it, people say you're crazy. When you say it, people say, that's not going to happen. What do you mean? There's never been such a thing. Or, no, but there's the same thing as whoever, the same person is doing the same thing. We never say it because we are afraid to be rejected or to be criticized. But let me tell you something, that is the voice. And in so saying, rejection is nothing but a different lens. What rejection is not saying that your idea, your dream, your business model, and what you're trying to build is not achievable. That's not what rejection is. Rejection is just saying that the other guy in the room is saying no to you. Don't see what you see. Don't feel what you feel. They don't see the same way that you see. And anyway, you can't expect them to see because you are alone when that was revealed to you. I mean, when you're in the shower and you have that voice speaking to you, I can't hear it the same way that you had it. When you're alone, dreaming and putting a business plan together, you can't expect the next guy to see exactly what you're seeing or you're working on the same way. So you're bound to be told no. You're bound to be rejected. But the big thing is how you deal with it. Don't take it personal. I want to make it sure it happens. And the next thing when you see the person who said no to you, you don't even greet them. No, there's no need. Don't be personal. Rejection is a different lens. It means the camera put right? And what he sees beyond the other side of the camera, and what I have this side, it's different lens. What he's looking into that and what I'm looking to the camera, he does not see what I see in front. I don't see what he sees behind the camera. And then me and him, we can argue, right? I can tell him, there's a red light here. I'm sure there's no red light behind the camera. So it's bound to say there's no red light. Right? And that's what rejection is. So there's no iniquity after here. There's a red light there. Right? It's just a different lens. And that's what rejection is. So what am I saying? I'm encouraging everyone today not to stop because of someone said no to you. Not to stop because someone said you're crazy. Not to stop because someone said it's not possible. That's not what the rejection is. It means I just don't see what you see.
Would advise us to take note of. And how were you able to keep being visible? Did you go to sell your sneakers every day? Did you keep posting on the socials every day? How do you gain the visibility and also stay consistent and grow? Thank you.
Good question. I think that's right. And oftentimes when we are a startup, and I think for different reasons, and I think they can be justified to somewhat, is that we often want to cheat the journey. Because when you are a startup, you feel like certain things you can't afford. So therefore, you want to compromise on quality of either your product or service, or quality of the way you run your business. And like I said, it's justifiable. Sometimes when we make the money in the business, because we've got far bigger responsibilities at home, so we take the money, we use it elsewhere instead of reinvesting in the business. But I think if I can advise this, trust me, I've went through it, is that one of the things that you need to do at your startup phase is make sure that in whatever scale, you corporatize your business, right? For example, when you recruit in your business, it can never be about just getting a guy from the streets to come and work without the right human capital processes and onboarding processes. The reason why that is key, and the way you do your finances, and the way you do your marketing, and how you run your business, the reason why that is key is because of if you cheat that process and you want to do it the cheap way, businesses has a cycle. They start up, there's growth, there's maturity, there's decline. The challenge that kills a lot of businesses not to grow is because of at startup phase, they cheated so many things. So when you go through growth, you go through a lot of challenges. Because of if I was employed in a business and there was no human capital, so when I go to growth and now there's a human resource manager who tells me that I need to apply for leave, that causes a lot of IR issues and a lot of problems. But if from inception, even if it's a basic employment contract, 2-pager or 3-pager, that was done, right? That is the process. So when you go through growth stages, because you treated so many things in your startup phase, you will have a lot of issues. And those issues will be a risk to further growing and scaling your business. So my advice is that try to do the best that you can do in a startup phase and corporatize it as much as you can. And the second question is, you need to live, breathe, eat, sleep your business. It cannot be a mood thing. It cannot be today we made our target, says Nemali, tomorrow we're not doing it again, or we're cheating it, or we're knocking off at 12. It's a consistent effort every day, every single day. In the highs, in the lows, weekends, no weekends, right? You put in the same amount of effort. And I always say this, and I say this because of these youth in the room. I say this and I say it with utmost humility. I don't spend time in the trophy room. And that is why I don't have a big head. Wow. Right? I win the biggest award of the night, right? And I leave the award ceremony to go to the office first thing tomorrow morning because of I show up like that. I don't spend too much time trying to celebrate, and that is why I never have a big ego. So in so doing, startups, because we are so hungry, once we start seeing the returns, we want to start celebrating. Don't do that. Show up every day.